This is Kanzenshuu, the podcast, episode 450 for the week of July 16th, 2018. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Kanzenshuu,
the podcast,
an extension of the all-encompassing Dragon Ball fans. I don't know why my voice is all over the place. Website
Kanzenshuu.
Thank you. We cover anything and everything Dragon Ball in hopes of enlightening and a little bit of entertaining. 2 weeks in a row, same two people.
I know.
Dark magic do we have going on here?
Setting a record.
My name is Mike. You may see me around Fujito EX, but my name is Mike. You can call me Mike. And that guy over there, his name is Heath. You may see him as Hujio, and you can call him Heath or Hujio.
Hello.
You can call us whatever you want.
You can call whatever. Bad names, too.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of that going around these days on the internet, I suppose. Yep. Mike and Heath joining you in mid-July. Usually what I like to do at the beginning of July is check in on our New Year predictions and see how well we're doing halfway through the year. July has been a little busy, though, here in the Dragon world. We've had the Super Dragon Ball Heroes promotional anime going on. We've had major announcements for the new Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. We talked about that last time on the show. So this got delayed just a little bit, but I did want to get to it before the end of July. Once you get past July, it's like, why even bother checking in? We'll just do it at the end of the year, and that's certainly how things have gone some years in the past, depending on what the workload is like. But I love these. So I've compiled all the predictions we did at the end of 2017, beginning of 2018. On that episode, there's actually 3/4 of Kanzenshuu. We had myself, had Julian, and Jay. Heath, you were not there, but this is good because then you can kind of tear apart everyone's predictions.
Yep, I'm here to critique.
Without having to be held accountable for anything yourself. That's an envious position here.
I'm going to enjoy this because usually I'm on the receiving end.
Right, I know. And this year we've been pretty good, though, so I don't think you have a whole lot to dish out. Things are going to continue to be busy into July here as we're recording. The next day, Jump Victory Carnival kicks off in Japan. The second episode of the Super Dragon Ball Heroes promotional anime will be screening in conjunction with that. And of course, if that's out, well, that's another year's guidebook for me to purchase and look at all the extra comic content and get that documented on the website. So busy times. In the meantime, though, our predictions is our topic this week. Let's just get on into it. What we also like to do is, alongside the predictions, is look at what some of the top stories of the year have been. Heath, so I grabbed the top 3 individual news stories from Kanzenshuu in 2018 so far. Some not surprising stuff here, but
I'm really surprised by one and not at all by the other two.
Right. Just like our number one story of 2017 was surprising to a lot of people. Go back and check out that episode if you missed it. All right, so let's go in reverse order here. The number 3 story on the website so far, the new film's key staff and Toriyama's comment, like, of course, that's going to be top 3.
Oh, yeah. For sure. I would be tempted to say by the end of the year, it will still be up there.
Yeah.
Or other film-related news.
Yeah.
And that's going to carry through this year.
Yeah, it'll remain up there for sure.
Yep.
Number 2 is that the Dragon Ball Super time slot was going to be shifting to Kitaro. Again, certainly an expected piece of news to have in our top 3 for the year so far. Dragon Ball Super's conclusion, I suppose you could say, was an interesting thing to live through in the Dragon world here this year.
Yes, it was. And we had some really good discussions about it, too.
We sure did.
Nice.
Heath, the number 1 story on Kanzenshuu for 2018 so far is
Yes, Mike, what was it?
The second original soundtrack volume for Dragon Ball Super.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
Like, it was sort of close, but also sort of not close. I don't know, that just dated in the track list for this soundtrack. Who are these Sumitomo fans that I've somehow not managed to chase away?
I don't know. I've actually been getting tweets requesting things about Sumitomo, so I don't know what's happening.
I saw that someone was asking for some translation stuff about Sumitomo.
Yep.
Like, here are the 5 things that kind of exist, and that's about it. He did not have a comment in the second original soundtrack volume for Dragon Ball Super, as he did in the first one. Comments in the soundtracks are actually not that common, so I was surprised that he did get one in the first one. We didn't get comments from him in stuff like Battle of Gods or Resurrection F. I'm curious to see what Sumitomo will have moving forward, if we'll hear anything else from him. So those are the top 3 stories on the website so far. That could change as the year goes on. I expect that new films Key Staff and Toriyama comment, that might actually go up there to number 2 if it doesn't hit number 1. Like you said, there may be even more significant announcements. We've had plenty of years where the top story comes out in November, December, and actually does that much traffic that it eclipses any other story from the entire prior 10, 11 months.
And a lot of that is attributed to larger announcements, like this new movie was made in December of the year previous. So that's usually when they like to drop a lot of stuff.
All right, so let's get on into it. Let's look at the predictions that we all made, except for you, at the end of last year, beginning of this year. We'll see how we're doing so far. Let's start with Julian. Julian's predictions for 2018. He said that a major new arc in Dragon Ball Super will lead into the new movie. So we were kind of split down the middle a little bit on what we thought about Dragon Ball Super. Julian was in the, it'll probably continue kind of camp. And he lost the biggest here on this one.
Yeah, he did, unfortunately.
He figured he would have something to complain about with the complete works of Akira Toriyama, or the nearly complete works. And he and Jake wondered if it would literally just be a list of his works with no real content. And it's kind of that.
I feel like they finally now have, I don't know how well planned out this actually is.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever find out, but they seem to have finally hit their stride at least a little bit as far as going more into the vault or providing things that a lot of people probably don't remember, or it was like pre-Dragon Ball Dr. Slump type of content.
Yeah.
Where at the beginning it was just like, really, guys? This is what we're going with?
Yeah, it was all over the place. One of my least favorite ones so far was like, here's the spine art from this volume. Like, okay,
yes.
I mean, yes, that is a piece of artwork that he produced, but maybe give us something a little more. They've been doing a lot of Dragon Quest stuff lately. There's been a lot of Dragon Quest anniversaries. The nearly complete works of Akira Toriyama is every weekday, Monday through Friday, on the official Dragon Ball website. They are sharing something that Toriyama has done. We've fallen behind a little bit in our daily coverage of it. I continue to archive everything, and as soon as I get free moments, I will go back in. Julian and I have been working on continuing to archive all that stuff, and we'll have that entire feature up to date at some point in the near future. And I also keep buying things that they've shown off, and I'm like, oh, I don't actually own that. I should own that. And this series has been detrimental to the Mike wallet, let's just say, over the last year. But
I think Mary has more of an issue of it than you do.
Yeah, maybe. You know who has more of an issue with it than anyone else is the poor DHL guy who's like every other day showing up at this. Like, what the hell is this dude ordering?
Why do I just keep going to this house once a week? Do you have DHL on retainer?
Yeah, right.
That's what you should do.
Julian said a new game will be announced by the end of the year. We don't really have that yet, but we have some more game stuff coming up soon. Said Super will end. Julian kind of contradicted himself. He's like, there's going to be a new arc that leads into the new movie. I guess he can say that Super could end as well. And everything will be undone by the King of All, and it'll just go into the regular ending from the original Dragon Ball serialization. Oh, that did not happen. And he was hopeful for, this is more of a hope than a prediction, more Toriyama short works or one-shot collection. We're still looking for a 4th collected edition of why am I blanking on the series of Toriyama's one-shots? What do they call it? Oh, God, Blank Piece Theater.
Yes.
There's been more stuff over the years since then, and Julian's still hoping for something like that. All right, so that was Julian's stuff.
So he's like half and half.
Yeah, he's like half and half there. Not too bad. I'm going to cover Jake's stuff, and then Heath, I'll turn it over to you to cover mine, because I had more predictions. I had like combined these two.
Yeah, you did. Holy crap.
I went into detail here. All right, so Jake said there will be no new major arc in the Dragon Ball Super TV series. Instead, the movie will be the big new thing. Pretty much right there. But then he went on to say the TV series will either do all filler, as much as filler can be filler in something like this, and or it'll go on hiatus, which will give Toyotaro a chance to catch up. That may be what we have going on here. Again, we have no official confirmation on what, if anything, will happen with Dragon Ball on television in 2019. Jake said Fighters will sell at least 3 copies, maybe more. Fighters has done extremely well. We'll talk more about that.
I know people that own 3 copies. So there you go.
That is
Right
true.
there.
You know what? Between different platforms and PC and the upcoming Switch version, yes, it is soon to be possible to own 4 copies of Dragon Ball FighterZ. This is the thing that will be happening very soon. Said Fusions 2 on Switch. Jake and I really enjoyed Fusions that last year and expected a fusion of Jiren and Kefla called Gifla, and the 2 Omni Kings will fuse into a 3rd Omni King who looks exactly the same as the other Omni Kings, but is, of course, somehow stronger. That remains to be seen, but that is certainly...
And I totally want that to happen.
Certainly a possibility. And then just as an aside, and then he moved on to saying other things like, yeah, there'll be a new animated adaptation of Heroes.
What did he know?
Nailed it there. Speaking of Heroes, went on to say Viz and/or Funimation, he didn't mention Bandai Namco here, which is curious, will bring the Heroes card game to America somewhere, somehow. Now, this is not happening, except sort of happening. I still haven't gotten around to doing a news post about this, but the Dragon Ball North American tour that's going on, they're going to have very specific editions of the Super Dragon Ball Heroes arcade game translated into English with new cards in English to play with. They've made no announcement about what this means, if anything, beyond it simply being available for people to try out. It seems absurd to make something like this and go around perhaps testing something like this if it weren't possibly at the very best research into maybe deciding to do something else. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good move, but we'll see what happens with it. Are you going to want a card that you can't really do anything else with?
Have you seen my house?
Yes, I have.
Question answered. Moving on.
I'm talking about someone that's just...
do you
say
like...
They go to this on a whim and they're like, I purchased these cards just so I could play this video game. Now what do I do with them?
I don't think at the tour you're going to purchase them. I think they said the way they phrased it.
Are they just promotional handouts?
Yeah, you get some rental cards, and then there's some, which I think they're going to ask for back for some reason. I don't know. But then there are...
Well, that's even more weird then.
But then there are, I think, 4 that you can actually
But it's like,
keep.
hey, come get addicted to this game that's really awesome. Now just move to Japan.
Asterisk really awesome. I have thoughts.
I'm not saying it based on a personal opinion. I'm saying
I
this
get
is what
it.
they would say. Come on.
All right. Moving on. Last thing that Jake said, Super Dragon Ball Heroes will continue to go strong, and Jake will continue to not care, but he will continue to be happy if anyone else does enjoy it. That is quintessential Jake
I am
right there.
100% with him on that one.
All right, Heath, read me the riot act here. How'd I do?
Oh, dear Lord. See, you just set yourself up for failure when you create so many predictions.
Yeah, I did well.
Which is why I will thoroughly enjoy this.
All right,
Mike. This first one is a doozy.
Yeah.
But you predicted that we would get Blue Dogi Goku by March. Well, we are way past March.
We are.
I would say that's how the calendar works. I don't know. How do you think you did on that one?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this one.
Yeah?
Look, someone's gonna go big, and no one else ever does. So this is what I went for.
But it's just the weirdest prediction that I don't think would happen by March. But whatever. I mean, I get what you're going with. Towards you're thinking end of Super.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, I didn't get it. It's fine. I can still sleep at night here.
There you go. So February will mark 2 years since the first official soundtrack. We will see Volume 2, also 2 discs, in the first quarter of the year.
Boom.
You actually got one right. Look at you. It came out in February. You know, you gave yourself the first quarter. Mm-hmm. So I'll give that one to you. You also predicted that we will get the usual 2 collected volumes of the Super manga in 2018. Volume 4 just came out in November. Well, Volume 5 came out in March. Volume 6 came out in June. And Volume 7 is coming. This reminds me of my prediction like a couple years ago.
Right.
What did I say? Like 4 volumes are going to come out.
You did. I think you said 5 or 6 volumes. It's
no,
possible.
I said we get up to 5 or 6. If I remember right, because wasn't only like 2 volumes.
It was 2 that previous year. Yeah. I think it's possible we may get a 4th volume in this calendar year. They could slip it out there in
I bet
November,
in
December.
If they could put it out around Christmas.
Yeah,
you could get that one.
I think it's possible. I'm unsure on that simply because of the buffer time as they continue to catch up. But there's still more and more material. I think it's possible. I think they may want to just get those collected editions out there.
Well, I guess you were saying you just want... Technically, didn't you get it? You said you were only predicting 2 collected volumes would come out.
Yeah, and so far 2 have, but we know the third one is actually coming out.
So what you're saying is my prediction may be true from a year ago.
Your previous one, yeah.
I did a little too early.
I think split the difference between the two of us, and somewhere in there lies the truth.
And it helps that the chapters have become longer.
Yeah,
so they need less chapters to make 1 volume.
Yeah, a volume is only, what, 4 chapters now?
Yeah, 4 or 5. Mostly it's been 4.
Because we're 45 pages per chapter. And then there was the one chapter where they added 4 entirely new pages to it back in volume 4, I think, or 4 or 5. No, volume 4.
All right, here's a good one. Mike predicted that we know Dragon Ball SD Volume 5 is coming, so nothing more to say on that matter.
Yep, they just keep throwing it out there, and every 2 years they're like, hey, OSG's collected here, off here.
And then you thought that we would get the Dark Demon Realm mission, Volume 2. At the time, you're up to the 9th chapter in January 2018, which came out in Psycho Jump. Volume 1 came out in May of 2017, so you were thinking Volume 2 in the second half of 2018? And Volume
that was close.
2 actually came out in May.
Yeah.
And then they transitioned to the Universe Mission, Jumbo, and then here we are now with the promotional anime. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it was... I just kind of assumed that they would continue calling it Dark Demon Realm Mission and keep going with that story, but I guess this is their new thing, the Universe Mission and all the Prison Planet stuff. So,
and I feel like they could stick with Universe Mission for quite some time because there's so much they could do with it.
Yeah, that's a good...
It's the entire universe.
Title. Yeah.
You predicted that the Fusions manga would come to an end at some point in 2018 and then get a compiled release whenever that happened.
Right.
It did actually come to a close in May of 2018. However, so far there has been no announcement for a collected volume. Yeah. So you're kind of 50-50 on that one. I'm not sure if they're going to come out with a collected volume.
Well, I don't know. I feel like they definitely could. If they're doing Yoshitaka Nagayama's stuff, I feel like that's a precedent here. What I'm kind of expecting is if and when we get a Fusions 2 announcement, a collected edition release of the manga seems like a great thing to do in line with that. So I'm kind of looking forward to the rest of the year.
Yeah, it'd be a nice promotion. Yeah. I could also see a free online release of some sort. Let's see, you had nothing on any other spin-off front, really, but the GT anime comic is still going and probably won't finish by the end of 2018. And lo and behold, it is still going as of right now.
I don't understand.
And I don't even know what chapter they're up to because I have not followed it.
All right, hold on. I'm going to go get it. Let's see. I'm running out of shelf space for Psycho Jump. Is this it? Is this the July? Getting it. Books. Fusions. No, not Fusions. GT. All right. I'm not entirely convinced that the editors of this magazine know this manga is still running in it.
Somebody's just sneaking it in.
Where even is it? Dragon Ball is not in the front anymore on this stuff, so it's actually hard to find.
Oh, so they hide it?
Yeah. Where is GT? It's not with... Where the hell is it? I know it's in here. I swear to God, I know the GT anime comic is in here somewhere. Is it? Oh, there it is. It's not even with the rest of the Dragon Ball stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Like after, what is this? Assassination Classroom and the one.
I want to know who reads it. That's my question. Like, are you going to go pick up an issue of Psycho Jump just so you can read that?
No, of course not. All right. So what are we up to here? So this is, they've unfused from Gogeta. Goku is back to being a child. And which dragon is this here that's trying to lock up or hold the one-star dragon? That's what's going on there.
Oh,
is it the ice or the fire one? I don't know.
Yep.
We'll get to that in our review on the podcast, and we'll see if I remember which dragon is which at some point. So that's where that is in the anime comic. That's still going. The only thing they've done is the evil dragon arc there.
Really drawing that out.
Yep, it was relevant.
Do they even get like an episode in a chapter?
I'd have to look and see. I don't know.
I would be curious,
maybe.
Just because you could kind of maybe calculate when you would think it would end.
Yeah,
but
I could do that, but no one besides me cares. So, All right, moving on.
Well, I do know. Let's see. Moving on from GT, Viz will indeed put out the Yamcha manga, the spin-off manga from Dragon Garo Lee. Same thing with a free digital release and then a later print edition, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you got that one. Viz announced that at Anime Boston in March.
Yep.
You didn't get the free digital release, though.
Yeah.
I'll give you a 67% on this one.
Ah, I like that. Yeah, this is coming out in November, so it's kind of a long cycle between announcement and release, but it's coming.
That time, I got reincarnated as Yamcha.
Yep.
Coming this November to a possible brick and mortar store near you or Amazon.com.
I was going to say, they just show up in the mail.
And then you also predicted that Drakengaro Lee would put out another spin-off, although this time focusing more on Majin Buu.
Yeah, nothing yet. I'm a little surprised we haven't heard anything about any other potential like Jump Plus bonus comics, something just like the Yamcha manga. Seemed like it was a big success, and it's run its course in Japan. It got its collected edition a while back, so I figured they'd move on and do something new, but we haven't heard anything.
No, not yet. I do think it's a good idea, though, but we'll see. And I assume this next one was about Viz, but you said that
yes,
we would go the entire year without anyone making any real comment, I assume Viz,
yep,
on the full colors.
That's right. And by real comment, I mean, you tweet at them, they're like, oh, we're always thinking and looking at our release. Like, that's not a real comment. I mean, we are doing it and it's coming out this month, or we have officially concluded our run of it. Like, that's a real comment. And I continue to think we'll go the entire calendar year without hearing anything. So far, that's been the case.
Yeah, they'll wait on that. And then moving on to some video game stuff, because for some reason you like that. Fighters with a Z will be a massive success. This is hardly a prediction. You just thought that it would be because
right.
It will be, and that you would see new characters, start rolling out sometime March, April. You tend to get the video game ones fairly correct. So that is the one thing. Video games are, if there's anything that's going to fit to a schedule every year,
yeah,
it's video games. But Bardock and Broly were announced in February, released the end of March, and then we got Merge, Zamasu, and Vegito Blue, which came out in late May, so I know everybody was super excited about that.
Yeah, we got 4 more characters coming. Of course, there's been the data mining / leaks who we expect the next batch of characters to be that I won't repeat here, but I expect to start hearing something about them soon, whether it be from Jump Victory Carnival itself, maybe in conjunction with V-Jump this month or next month. Seems about time for that.
And then sticking with Fighters, you said that the Fighters Switch port would be announced mid-year, out by the end of the year. You would buy it, you would probably play it way too much and destroy it. And of course, that was announced in June at E3, and we will be getting that in September.
Yep, nailed that one. I mean, as the year was going on, there seemed to be less of predictions and more of kind of like an open secret. Everyone was like, this is kind of coming, we know.
Now, this one I'm kind of intrigued on.
Yeah, okay.
You said Xenoverse 3 would get announced at literally the very end of the year, so of course, I cannot verify that at this time.
Right.
But you said it would be a direct follow-up to what we see with Fu in Xenoverse 2. Of course, now we have Fu elsewhere. I guess we can hold out hope that this doesn't actually happen, but whatever.
I'm not entirely sure where this is going to go. I think this would have held true had they not also just announced, hey, we're actually going to do another batch of DLC for Xenoverse 2. And
yeah.
All right. So you're going to keep going there. I feel like they're not going to go hard on any more story stuff for XV2. I think it'll just be character related. But I'm real curious. I mean, yeah, Fighters is doing great, has continued to do great, and will continue to do great. Xenoverse 2 was also a very good success for them, and there's definitely a huge audience that is looking for that kind of game and is expecting a follow-up to it at some point. I feel like I'm still expecting them to announce a follow-up by the end of the year.
Isn't it just weird that we live in a time now where you have a game like Dragon Ball FighterZ and Xenoverse at the same time? Because I feel like throughout the course of the franchise, it's always been either you're getting fighter games or you're getting RPGs, and there's not, other than when the series first hit the video game market. I mean, it was one or the other most of the time, especially lately once we hit the whole reboot in the early 2000s.
And it was either you were getting this style of fighting game or this style of fighting game, and nothing lived together. The only exception would be 2006 when Super DBZ came out, and that did actually live alongside something like Sparking Meteor around that time.
That's true.
I think the PS2 generation, because like within the same 12 months-ish, we had Sparking Meteor, Super DBZ, and actually Battle Stadium DON. And then, of course, you still had something like Budokai 3. DBZ3 there in the background as well. I feel like that was the last time when you had a true variety, and even then it was still all fighting. We're kind of back to all fighting again here, except for something like Fusions. That was a wonderful, delightful surprise to me on 3DS, and I really, really want Ganbarion to have a chance to do a proper sequel to that.
That would be fun.
And I'm especially excited that I don't have to buy another generation of multiple region consoles this time around. Thank you, Nintendo.
They did it just for you, I'm sure.
They did. Of course, I'm still the dummy who's like, oh, well, I like buying physical copies of at least all Dragon Ball games, even though I've gone all digital on Switch. So now I'm like, oh, God, I'm all digital on Switch, but if it's a Dragon Ball game, I have to buy a physical. Oh, what do? Do I buy both and just put one on the shelf?
You do it.
That sounds like what I'm going to have to do. Not that there's an announcement other than fighters, but... So those were our prediction check-ins. Overall, I think we did, I don't know, definitely above 50%. We're somewhere around like 2/3, right?
There wasn't too much out on a limb, but for the most part, you guys hit some home runs and whiffed on a few.
Right. I would expect nothing less.
Oh, yeah. Well, you always have to throw one in that you're just like, I really don't think this is going to happen, but if it does,
right,
I want to be the one that said it.
Exactly.
And I also just want it to happen.
So while you're here, do you have any kind of in the middle of the year, not knowing things, anything you're looking forward to or predicting that we can check in on at the end of the year?
A lot of mine kind of fall in line with what you guys talked about.
All right, well, give me one of those crazies. You know, like you were choking up on that bat. You were ready. Like,
all right, I'll choke up on the bat. We got, I'll say, oh gosh. So the movie will come out in December.
Yeah.
I think around the same time, as part of the promotional buildup, there will be some sort of announcement of either a continuation of Super or a comment about the television series, whether it will remain in hiatus or will be coming back.
All right.
I guess.
Feel
well,
like
okay, maybe we'll go even far. Not even that it'll remain in hiatus. Either it's ending or it's coming back.
Okay.
It's over.
It's either on or it's over. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
How's that?
That seems, dude, that seems like a safe bet to me. They're probably going to say something by the end of the year.
Oh, come on.
I mean, more crazy.
And then at some point in early 2019, we'll see Blue Dogi Goku.
All right. So. Thank you. Oh, man. All right. Well, that's just a short, fun check-in on our predictions and some of the top news that's been going on this year. Anything else you want to chat about going on the website? I know we just had a show last week, and especially because we recorded late, it's like I just kind of taught you about website stuff. We haven't done a whole lot of new stuff in the meantime.
I know. We're still just going strong. I'm trying to keep up with the slew of messages related to the wiki. The amount of work that people have been putting into it is absolutely insane, and I am so grateful that we finally got a group of people to all come on board. Everyone seems to work well together. Everyone is good at picking up everyone else's slack, which I think is what really we were kind of lacking in the past. If two people stopped working, then everyone just stopped working, and we would go huge stretches with nothing happening. And I know for like you and I working full time, it's so hard to just commit every single day to I'm going to do so much on this. I mean, I'll go a week and do nothing and then go 2 weeks and do so much stuff. Right. So that has been really fun to see. So I hope everybody's kind of looking forward to that, because there's some really neat stuff that's things that I never would have done. So that's what I really appreciate is people bringing their own perspective to things and, hey, why don't we try this or do this? And yeah, so that's been fun. And then you're just writing about random things that nobody would ever look up.
I know. I mean, I've been doing like normal Dragon Ball video game entries as well.
That's true.
Like, I think people have heard about Hyper Dimension before. I'm pretty sure people know what that is.
Those Budokai games?
Those Budokai games. I guess I got to write those. No one else is going to do that.
Yeah. Nobody's going to touch those.
I know there's some other cool stuff going on, translation-y stuff and other just pet projects. We'll check back in on those and obviously stay tuned to the website, and that's going to be the first place that you hear about things. So www.kanzenshuu.com. That is kanzenshuu.com. That is the central hub of everything. That is our Toki City.
We will become your Broly outlet for the next 6 months.
All Broly all the time.
There you go. I was thinking I need to update the banner.
No, I don't want him there. I want to keep her there.
That would be so like 1998.
It would.
Oh my God.
Keep her there, at least for the remainder of 2018. I think we owe it to Hiromi Tsudu to continue to honor her legacy with at least a picture of that character. Speaking of which, we never actually did, simply because I feel like it's still too emotionally raw to do an episode dedicated to Hiromi Tsudu, talking about some of her best performances, stuff that she brought to the character. That's something I still do want to do. I don't want people to think I forgot about that. Would love to hear what everyone else thinks is something that could or should be covered in that kind of topic. I'll definitely crowdsource some thoughts on that. If you have anything you think should be included, definitely hit me up, whether it's via email on the site or on Twitter or something like that. Love to hear what you think should be on a show like that. And there's plenty of other topics that we've talked about. Jake actually had something in mind that he wanted to do. He's been researching. We all have our little things that we get obsessed with, and Jake had one of those as well. And I think I should check back in and see what he wants to do there. Julian's with his family right now, but he's got some other translation stuff going on. And obviously you got your stuff, I got my stuff. Everyone's got their stuff. So next time on the podcast, we will talk about some of that stuff. I don't know what the next podcast episode is going to be yet. Will it be GT? I don't think it's going to be GT. I think I'll record it in the next week, but maybe hold on to it for a week. I don't know. Again, go to the website. You'll find out soon.
As soon as we know, you'll know.
Exactly. Heath, that's it. Wrap it up, dude.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you maybe next week. Adios.